to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
Introducing from Atlantic City, New Jersey, weighing in at 210 pounds, your Italian hero, Joey Image!
Ladies and gentlemen, 82 degrees and sunny out here in lovely New Jersey. How the hell are ya? I am your host, that image guy, Mr. Joey Image. And how the hell are you people? That was weird. I don't know if that was my Rush Limbaugh impression or my Bubba the Love Sponge impression, or I don't know. But I'm certainly not a weatherman, so I don't know where that came from. But anyway, how is everyone? I hope everyone's doing well. I just want to point out, as I said in my very, very first episode, I will be doing this once a week. This coming Sunday, which is 3 days from now, will be 2 weeks since I started this, and I'm already on episode 6. So, the once a week thing, not working out. Although, if you enjoy this show, then it's certainly working out in your favor, because it's, as I said, been a lot more than one in a week. So, today I want to do something different. I'm going to make this short. I want this will be my first quote-unquote official released episode for the new network I am a part of. Or I should say, not the new network, I'm sorry. The network I am newly a part of, as the network itself is not new, but that is 1640 PWPR, Pro Wrestling Podcast Radio, and more, actually. There's more than just wrestling on that network. But hit up Twitter. Just search for at 1640. It's not spelled out, so it's at 1640 PWPR. Check that out, and give us a listen. Look it up on iTunes. 1640 PWPR. We are all over iTunes. Several shows, all good, and a lot of great content. A lot of great what do you call it? You know what I'm saying. A lot of great shows, a lot of great hosts, a lot of great content. Check it out. Check me out. I'm on there now. God dang. Look at that. 2 episodes I did, and I got people asking me to join them. That's pretty good stuff, huh? I love being there. Ken Reedy's there, a dude I've known for a few years now. Little trivia fact, Ken Reedy was one of the commentators on my last professional wrestling match before I was out for 2 years with an injury. That was myself and Jorge Sante against Eddie Escobar and EJ Risk at NWA On Fire in Parsippany, New Jersey. And the 2 commentators for that were Ricky Otazu and Ken Reedy. So I've known Ken for a couple years. Used to bump into him monthly at TGI Fridays down in the town that it's in. I don't know, Rutherford or Heswick Heights or something like that on Route 17 in Jersey for the WWE pay-per-views. Don't get to see him there anymore because I don't go anymore. I don't know if he still does, but I know that they don't air pay-per-views since the network took over. But that is another story for another day. So let's get right down to it. What I'm going to do today is just a Q&A. A bunch of people have asked me a bunch of stuff on my Facebook page, and I thought it would be cool to release this on my own feed as well as 1640, so the listeners who are new to me on the 1640 network can kind of get a feel for who I am and what I'm about, and get to know me a little bit better. And of course, if there's any other questions, they can always ask me whatever they want. Anybody can reach me via Twitter at Joey Image or Facebook at facebook.com/realjoeyimage, or you can always email me joeyimage@gmail.com, and anything you want, just send it over. I will address it as appropriate. But again, this is just a quick Q&A. I've got a bunch of questions here. I don't know how many, 7 or 8 maybe. Just so, people can kind of get to know me a little bit better than they already do. Or, again, the 1640 listeners who are new to me. And by the way, let me just say the first 5 episodes of this show, That Image Guy, are already uploaded on 1640's iTunes feed, and they have been getting a ton of downloads. When I initially started doing this, I was putting them on YouTube, only because I didn't really know how to do the RSS feed and how to get it into iTunes and SoundCloud and stuff like that. So now it's on there, and it's getting a decent amount of downloads on my own iTunes. But if you go through, I forget the name of the website, but if you go through the website that that 1640 uses to track stuff like that. On YouTube, for example, I was getting, 20 to 25 to 30 listens / views per podcast episode. But I want to thank the 1640 listeners because the first 3 or 4 alone have gotten over 1,000 total, which to me is crazy because no one knows who I am. I'm just some dude from New Jersey that, as I said in my farewell to wrestling speech, I'm just a kid from New Jersey that wanted to put on some spandex and beat people up. So I appreciate all the downloads and listens and all the feedback I've gotten so far. So far, not one negative feedback. Nothing, any comments that I've gotten have been positive. And if I did get negative, I would tell you. Because I'm not, I don't have a giant ego. I really don't care. But, if people think negatively of me, that's fine. If they think negatively of me and are not, man enough or mature enough to address it with me, then that's their own problem, and I consider that to be irrelevant. But if you have an issue with something I've said or you don't like one of my shows, it's okay to tell me. It's it's not a big deal. We can discuss it. Just come at me like an adult and, a mature adult, not an idiot, and no issues. So, anyway, and you know what? I mentioned SoundCloud a minute ago. Let me put this question out there. Is SoundCloud a thing that people regularly use for RSS feeds? Like, that's what I'm using now, but I'm using the free version, and they only give you a certain amount of minutes, and I'm already at my limit. So once you start uploading stuff that's over that amount of limits, they delete previous episodes, which is okay with me because they're all archived on my YouTube, and I have them in iTunes, and I have the actual file itself on my hard drive. So I'm not sure if that even matters, if I'm good with the free version, or do I need to do the $15 a month unlimited? So somebody mention that to me if you can. Let me know what you guys think. Or even, this will be on YouTube as well, so leave me a question, leave me a message or a response down in the comments if you could. Thank you very much for that. Like I said, this is still a learning process for me. This is I guess this is a new thing to me, so, let me pick your brain if I could a little bit with that question and give me some help if you could. So, again, as I said earlier, we are going to do a quick Q&A, and even though I said quick, I'm already close to like 8-9 minutes now. Jesus, it comes with being Italian, this talking thing. So let's get right down to business. First question comes from Alan Craig. How did you become inspired to enter the wrestling business, and where did you get your start? And also, before I continue, let me just say that a lot of this stuff is stuff I've already answered in previous interviews, as well as on my DVD Final 5, which can be purchased via email, final5dvd@gmail.com, spelled out Five. At gmail.com if you want to purchase that. $15 for Blu-ray. I'm sorry, $15 for DVD, $20 for Blu-ray. Send me an email, let me know you're interested. I just got a bunch of them completed, and I'm just waiting on the covers to be sent to me so I can actually put them in the DVDs and ship them out. Those should be shipped out next week. So if you want one, let me know. Hit me up. All right, again, so the question was, how did you become inspired enough to enter the wrestling business, and where did you get your start? I actually said this a while ago, but it's kind of funny how I got started, or how I got inspired to start, I should say. I remember WrestleMania 3, where Junkyard Dog hit Harley Race with a chair shot, and I thought, that's what I want to do, and I think it would be awesome if I could do that, so I'm going to do that. So that's essentially like the thing that cemented my desire to want to start training. And where I got my start was Camp IWF in West Patterson, New Jersey, now known as Woodland Park, New Jersey. And the school is now relocated to Nutley, New Jersey, still the same general area. I was trained by Kevin Knight, mainly by Kevin Knight and Biggie Biggs. I enrolled in December of 1999, had my first match in June of 2000, and I've been going ever since. Best decision I ever made. All right, second question comes from Lee Houston. When are you, or will you ever come to WWE? Lee has been on my Facebook for quite a while, so I'm not sure why he asked this question, and I'm not calling him out or trying to be rude, but this is something I've discussed 4 million times. I will not be coming to WWE. I am officially retired, which is the big thing I'm surprised that this person missed. Again, I'm not I'm not trying to make fun of Lee or anything. I'm just saying it's been posted millions of times. It's kind of difficult to forget or miss. But I retired officially from in-ring, at least in-ring competition, on June 20th of this year. I broke my neck. I severely injured my spine. My left knee is bad. My left hip is bad. I've had several surgeries. I've had 2 on my back. Actually 3 on my back. One of them was to remove a growth on the base of my spine. I've had surgery on my left knee. I've had surgery on my lower back, my spine. I've got hip issues, so I retired. The main problem with me, the biggest injury is my neck. I didn't get surgery for it because my doctor told me as long as I don't continue wrestling and I'm not super overly physical, I don't play football or anything like that, then I should be okay without surgery, just kind of taking it easy. If I slip and fall, I can still break my neck and I'm paralyzed. But the main problem is that there's discs pressing on my spinal cord in my neck, as well as I've got pinched nerves. But the main thing about that is that, again, if I take bumps or if I get hit in the back of the head or something like that, those discs can sever my spinal cord, and then I'm literally paralyzed from the neck down. I did physical therapy. I took some pills. I had some injections. So things are a little bit better than they were when this first happened, but I'm still at risk. So it's just too risky for me to continue wrestling. It's too easy for me to get hit in just the right spot where I can't walk ever again. So, again, I am retired, will never be in WWE. And again, as I've also said 1,000 times, wrestling for WWE was not ever one of my goals anyway. Sure, if they called and said, hey, we'll give you $500,000 a year, sure, I'm in. But that wasn't something that I strived for, which I think is obvious. A lot of people claim that, even if you say that it's bullshit, that everybody wants to work for WWE. That's not true. That's simply an opinion, and an uneducated one, I think. But again, if that was a goal of mine, there have been so many tryouts and ways to get in and scouts at so many shows I've been at that I would have actually tried or approached a scout or gone to one of the tryouts at the Meadowlands or tried to get on Tough Enough, anything like that. So there are ways to attempt that, which I have not done, which I kind of think, proves that that's not really something I ever strived for, really. All right, next question. Kyle Dean, if you could tell your 12-year-old self anything, what would it be? If 38-year-old Joey Image could go back and tell 12-year-old Joey Image anything, it would be start wrestling next year when you're 13, or start training when you're at least 13, maybe somewhere between 13 and 15, because it would have lasted a lot longer. Who knows where I would have ended up. Kyle also goes on to say, do you have any allergies? What are they and what are the symptoms? Actually, I have no allergies. I'm very, very lucky. Nobody in my family's got allergies that I know of. I don't know if that's a hereditary thing or not, but I do not have any. What are some of your guilty pleasures? Candles in the bath, singing in the shower, little things that make you happy inside or feel like a kid again. I don't do baths, I do showers, and I try to make them as quick as possible. Singing in the shower is a thing I do. I make sure it's very quiet and to myself, though, because I don't want other people hearing how horrendously horrendous my quote-unquote singing voice is, if you can call it that. As far as guilty pleasures, I think cartoons. I'm a big cartoon guy. I still watch the old G.I. Joe cartoons from the late 80s, mid to late 80s. I still love the original He-Man, Masters of the Universe cartoons, also from around that time. I never really got into a lot of the newer stuff, but I do love that stuff. Kevin Upper Jesse, if you weren't a professional wrestler, what other career choice would you have done and why? Something in the tech world, likely just building computers, probably. Tech is something that I'm super passionate. My 3 passions, I guess 2 of them, growing up was technology, for example, computers and software, hardware, things like that, and professional wrestling. And the third one I would say is stand-up comedy, but which I still want to try one day, but I really believe that if that was as big a passion of mine as I kind of think it is, then maybe I should have already attempted it. But probably something in the tech world, probably just building computers or whatever. Next question. Anthony Menegoni, what is the most important thing you took away from being a wrestler for the past 15 years? 2 things, actually. Camaraderie, and they're 2 almost opposite things, but camaraderie, learning how you can who you can trust and how far or how much, and the opposite, who you can't trust. because you can't trust everybody, that's for sure. But wrestling really, really weeds out the pretenders and lets you know kind of who's untrustworthy and who's not really worth your time. Next question, and this one I actually had a question with, and I didn't get an answer, but Steve Kelly up in Canada, if any of your Final Five, which is my Final Five retirement matches, could be refereed by a WWE legend, who is that legend? And I didn't know if he meant like an actual referee or a legendary wrestler as a special guest ref, so I will answer for both, both options. First of all, by a WWE referee would probably be Jimmy Korderas. Jimmy and I are buddies. He's a really, really good guy. We've spoken a million times. We haven't actually hung out in person. The one time we were supposed to meet up in person was the Raw after WrestleMania 29, which was in New Jersey. I believe it was 29. And I went to that, and I went to the Raw the night after. And Jimmy Korderas, myself, and Arda Ocal, a.k.a. Kyle Edwards in WWE, planned on doing dinner after, or not necessarily dinner because it was so late at night, but at least we planned on getting a bite to eat after the show. They were hanging out, BSing, just talking to the ring crew and stuff because Jimmy worked there for 22 years or something. So when they were hanging out with the ring crew guys, I was kind of getting situated and getting my stuff together and getting my jacket on or whatever, and going to the men's room, and then I was gonna wait for them afterwards. But they took so long that that security made me leave. And I told them I was waiting for them, and they were right there. Like, I was at the top of these steps to go down, going down the section of seats that I was in. And Jimmy and Arda were right at the bottom of the section. They were just hanging out and talking to the ring crew guys. I was on the floor, and security, I couldn't have been more than 100 yards, 300 yards, 200 yards away from them. And security wouldn't let me wait any longer. And I called for them, and Arda turned around and waved, and then turned right back around and kept talking. So I don't know if he even realized it was me or just thought it was someone that recognized him and was waving, was waving to me or whatever. But, so that would be my pick for referee. And then as far as legendary wrestler as a guest referee, that's a super, super tough decision. Probably either Cactus Jack or Shawn Michaels, I would guess. All right, Eric Paulus, who's your favorite wrestler besides yourself? Obviously, I imagine this has been answered before, but can be anyone past, present, no restrictions. I really don't have a favorite. That's the best answer. I could say the guy that I watched the most was Cactus Jack when I was younger. Cactus Jack and Kurt Angle were my two favorites, I guess, for at least a few years before I started training, and that's because they are on complete opposite ends of the wrestling spectrum. One of them is a hardcore brawler, appropriately known as the Hardcore Legend, and the other, Kurt Angle, being one of the best pure professional chain wrestlers in the world, I think, in my opinion. So I would pick either one of those two, because again, those two were two of my favorites. And it's hard to say who is actually my favorite. I don't look at, for the last 15 years, I haven't viewed wrestling as a fan. So it's really hard to say, like, hey, that guy's great, or, that guy's my favorite from that kind of point of view. But I would definitely, pick either one of those two either one of them could be my favorite for those reasons. James Cleary, what is your real surname? Surname being last name, I would assume. I'm not that smart, and I know that's not a common word, surname, used in my vocabulary or my circle of friends. My real surname is actually Image. It's Image, so I call myself Joey Image. LSG Homeless, if you were a superhero, what would your power be and your superhero name be? If I were a superhero, my power would probably be, I would be able to perform wrestling moves on my enemies or my haters or whatever, my enemies. And my superhero name would be Joey Image. And I would wear spandex. My father's maiden name is O'Mealy. That was Ellis's second question. What is your father's maiden name? It's O'Mealy. Matt Vieira, if you were going to build a game console, what features would it have compared to today's current? Well, it says, this question's worded oddly. Which features would it have compared to current next-gen consoles? Current consoles are not next gen; they're current gen. Next gen is the next generation, so they're not current. So I'm assuming he means, current consoles in existence. Let me see. Going to build a game console. What feature would I have? Holographic VR, or virtual reality / holographic, whatever you call it, graphics, I guess. Interactive. Jesus Christmas. It would be holographic and interactive. That's what I'm trying to say. So thus you would not need a controller. It would be almost like the Wii, but it wouldn't be on TV. There would be holograms. Be a little hologram transmitter deal, and it would be very, very VR. It would look pretty cool. I mean, I don't know. I'd like to make it as small as possible so you can fit it anywhere almost, but very hard to. That's kind of a hard question, because if I had any cool features, they would either already be done, or I'd already make this console myself. Timothy Chappell, or Chapel, what is your favorite video game and why? I want to say, actually, that's really, I guess I'll say World of Warcraft. I've played thousands of video games, and I play a lot of them regularly. GTA, Destiny. I played a whole bunch of Street Fighter today for some reason, which I haven't played that in months, but I have Ultra Street Fighter 4 on PC. But I gotta say World of Warcraft, because it's the only game that I have played consistently, almost daily, if not at least weekly, for over 10 years now. Actually, almost 11 years. The game came out November 23rd, 2004. So this is August, 27th, 2015. So it's almost 11 years that game has been around. So I think I would have to say World of Warcraft, just for that reason. And the final question, Michael Cox. Are you a boxers or briefs kind of guy? America wants to know. I am a boxers guy, absolutely. They're just more. Well, actually, it depends. I'm a like walking around regularly, like outdoors, whatever, home or whatever. I'm a boxers kind of guy, but when I'm in my wrestling gear, briefs. And I wear the tight boxer briefs just because they keep everything together. If you know what I mean. They keep my cock and balls from bouncing around and stuff when I get beat up. So I hope America is satisfied with that answer. Pictures upon request, but really it's just me in spandex, so you've already seen that. Anyway, I want to thank all, bunch of you for responding to the Facebook post and asking me whatever you want to ask. I guess I could do this again sometime. I mean, it's kind of fun, but yeah, if you guys want to ask me anything, just again, tweet me at JoeyImage, Facebook.com/RealJoeyImage, JoeyImage@gmail.com, ThatImageGuy.com, YouTube.com/JoeyImage, Instagram.com/RealJoeyImage, at JoeyImage, at 1640 PWPR on Twitter, and I thank you all very, very much. I will see you later. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. Talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Hey, how you doing? This is King Firehawk from the King Firehawk Show. Just telling you, hey, 1640 PWPR is the home of Pro Wrestling Podcast Radio. If you want to interact with the shows, all you got to do is tweet us at 1640 PWPR, or you can go onto our Facebook page. It's a fan page and we're waiting for you. It's 1640 PWPR, the home where Pro Wrestling Podcast Radio lives.